Hello and welcome to Queers and Soaps. I'm Eric, joined once again with
Karen.
bringing you some more General Hospital. February 15th to February 22nd, 1982. Tommy will roll the credits and we'll chat. These were very interesting episodes. I'm kind of over this Laura mystery. It's taking too long.
I think it's a little,
It's getting nowhere.
it's like realistic in that obviously Luke wouldn't stop looking for his wife like within 5 minutes. Like, because really
Right.
it hasn't been that long. And the way we watch like basically all of it, all a week in like 2 days, you know?
Yeah.
But the mystery with David Gray and fake Laura Templeton, like I don't care because it's like that, like you said, they're not getting
Same.
anywhere with it. And every time it's on, it's like she's irritated because she can't leave the apartment. Then David Gray and the photographer talk about whatever they're doing. Like, but
Yeah.
they talk around it in circles, and like I still don't know. They're going to steal something, but what is it? He's going to replace something with something else, but what is it? Like we don't know enough to give a crap, I think.
Right.
And like you said, it's slow.
And Mel and Laura just have to say confined till this is done.
I feel like this is something I've been having an issue with in the current show. It's just like having characters say the same dialogue every day in a new and interesting way, but they're just saying the same words. It's frustrating, and it's just like do something about it. And I feel like I don't know the actress's name, but the one who plays Laura Templeton, she kind of embodies it because she's frustrated, she's impatient, she wants to leave, and I'm like, me too, girl, me too.
It's Janine Turner.
Janine Turner. Yeah.
So, all right, the first episode, Luke and Jackie are still chasing Laura. This is where Jackie flips again. We recapped what we were, I guess Friday's episode or whatever it was. Anne questions Ruby about tests Rudy may have ordered. She's like, did he order tests before the surgery? Usually doctors do. He didn't for some reason. Probably forgot because he's tired and all that stuff.
Yeah, she talked to that tech, and he was like, "Nope, he didn't order anything." And I was like, "Oh, that's not good."
No. So Jackie ends up hanging from the bridge or whatever it is. And Luke saves her. Yay. Our hero.
Sorta. Sometimes
Never.
confusing hero.
Noah comes in and derails Anne. Luke goes off on the skater dude because the David Gray made that skater dude like do
With
it.
his
What did he say?
go faster or
Go
something. Like he
faster,
just kept saying, "Go faster, go faster." And Luke's like, "Hey man, what the hell? You were like going crazy, and you almost killed that lady." And the guy's like, "Sorry, man." Like he did not care. He was like, "Fine." He's like, "What are you gonna do?"
He didn't know why he did it. He's just like, it just happened. I don't know what to tell you. And that David Gray stares at them, of course.
With his
They
hypno powers.
continue to search for Laura. Leslie fears they will never find Laura 1. Dan says to Noah, get Anne under control. Which is funny because I feel like he was on her side later on. I was like confused. I'm like, because he like gave her like sage advice.
Well, didn't Noah, was that in this episode or the next one where Noah kicks her off a surgery?
Yeah,
He's
it might be this one.
He's uncomfortable working with her. So then Anne is understandably upset. She has an emotional reaction to it. And I think that's what everybody was talking about. Like she shouldn't be crying because she's not on a surgery.
Well, he
Like,
also didn't tell her ahead of time. He told her right when she was there for the surgery.
oh, he was a jerk. He was a jerk.
Yeah.
He could have taken her off that rotation and let her know before she showed up ready to scrub in.
Yeah.
That was he's being like I feel like it's like a doctor's club where they're all just like closing ranks and blaming nurses, but like he's trying to protect Dr. Bradshaw from mistakes that he made.
Yeah. Anne says that Rudy is careless and he ordered no pre-surgery labs and he needed to do that. And I know, I still feel like they still seem like they're on Rudy's side. Like, I don't understand.
Because he's a doctor and she's a nurse. And
Yeah.
probably because he's a guy and she's a woman. Remember, it's the 80s.
Laura too goes home. She says she went shopping. Mel flips out. He's like, "We're not supposed to go anywhere." Like, I'm like, "What are you supposed to do? Just stay there forever?" Like, I don't understand. I don't
It's
get it.
been weeks, right? It's
It's
been
been
weeks.
months.
Yeah.
Well, a month and a half.
Yeah, but since they moved to this
So I
place,
guess
because
3
remember they were
days.
in the other hotel room and then all this stuff. So like they've been in
Right.
this loft for weeks. There is literally no TV, no radio, no nothing. What is Laura supposed to do all day while he works on whatever mysterious project he's working on?
Right. And he
And
does
then
he doesn't even know what the
he
project is
doesn't
either.
know. And like I think at one point she asks to help him and he basically goes, "Hand me a screwdriver." I'd kill him if I were her. I would be gone. I can't blame her for disappearing and shopping and doing all that.
Right. And I think he's on to her, like, 'cause I think he says, like, that she's stealing things or something, like he knows.
She's bored. She's bored and a kleptomaniac. What else is she going to do?
Right.
Get a job.
Um, the trio, I call them, that's Jackie, Luke, and Robert, go to Kelly's for a break. Rick and Leslie meet Johnny. Jeremy is there. Who's Jeremy? I forget.
Jeremy is Anne's adopted son.
Oh, wait, Jeremy. Yes. Sorry, I watched this a week ago and I forgot. And they talk about the sports center and all that, so that's a big story that's here. Mel gets on Laura for shoplifting. Johnny and his sister fight about, what is her sister name? I totally forget.
Maureen?
Is it Maureen?
Yeah, I think it's Maureen.
I feel like they never say her name, so then I just
They
don't
said
know.
it one time, like 2 or 3 episodes ago.
Yeah.
And then everyone's like, "Oh, we just know your brother Johnny." And as someone who's constantly like had that situation where people are like, "Hey, how's your brother doing?" Like, yeah, they don't care about you.
And they fight about him fighting.
Because he has a heart condition.
Even though she's the one that like recommended him for it, didn't she?
She didn't want him to fight. She wanted him to train the kids. And he started going overboard. And she's like, "Be careful of your heart condition." And he's like, "Whatever."
But does he have a heart condition?
Yeah, that's a big question of this week.
Anne and Dan talk. She's afraid that she will get the hospital in an uproar. And this is where he gives her like sage advice. So I was so confused. I'm like, is he against her or for her? I don't understand.
I feel like he was like all these older men. You'll see Steve do it too. Anytime a character cries or gets emotional, Steve and Dan both say the same thing. They're like, "You need to get that under control. You can't be doing that here at the hospital." So apparently you're supposed to be an emotionless robot when you're doing your job. But
Right.
then like he talks to Anne and he's like, "Go with your gut, trust your instincts. And if you don't have enough information, investigate, because you'll never be able to live with yourself if you don't figure out what's going on." And she's like,
Right.
"Thanks, Dan." But she does kind of apologize for being upset earlier. But I don't think she really should have, because Noah put her in that position. And I think anyone would have been upset.
Yeah.
Especially since she's kind of being ostracized at the hospital for daring to speak out against Dr. Bradshaw, because everybody loves Dr. Bradshaw.
Right.
Even though he almost killed Ruby.
She's alive. She's fine.
I guess it's fine. She had to have more organs removed than she was planning on because of his mistake. That's fine, I guess.
Right. He didn't need those organs. Luke visits her at the end. Randall offers Edward to play a handheld game. He's like, no. And he has plans, of course, to get ELQ away from Lila. This was funny. This stuff was very
This
good.
whole week of Edward trying to outfox Lila was so entertaining to me. It was like the other storylines, who cares? I want to see what Edward's doing.
And it was like the first time we got to see him laugh and stuff, even if it was very short-lived. But Noah requests Anne off the surgery of his case. David is mad at Laura too, for leaving, I guess, and doing things when she shouldn't be.
Oh my God, can't she just sit in a corner until we need her? Ugh.
I know. Edward's trying to drive Lila out of ELQ. He tells Randall to find him a woman.
Randall thinks it's a hooker.
Yeah. I mean, the way he put it, it kind of does sound like that.
He's like, Randall, I need you to find me a woman. And he goes, what kind of prostitute, basically? And he's like, not that. He's like, I need an actress.
Lila, of course, is suspicious of Edward.
Of course.
Randall brings in Charlotte, an actress, to play Lila's friend. Yes, this all was pretty funny. And that actress looked familiar, too. I forgot to
The
look her
whole
up.
plan was for them to convince Lila that she has dementia, basically, by having this woman
That she
she's never
forgot
met
her
before,
friend.
pretend to be a
Yeah.
really good friend. And it doesn't work out the way they wanted it to.
Laura tells David and Mel it was a coincidence. Jackie was at the store. Um, did she know that Jackie was going to be there? Did she want Jackie to find her? I'm so
No, she's
confused.
just a kleptomaniac, and she wanted to get her little animals, and she was mad she, couldn't do it the last time. She got that little duck, and I don't know.
And then
It's
when
stupid.
when she was running from Jackie, or did
Yeah,
she
but
just running to run?
she ran from Jackie. She knew it was Jackie, and she ran from her
Okay.
because her boyfriend said she can't under any circumstances tell Jackie what she's doing because of how dangerous David is for some unknown reason. Because we don't know enough about him to care. It's like hard.
Yeah.
He's supposed to be really menacing, but I guess with the big the hypnotist rock he wears on his hand, it's just I don't know. He's handsome, but it doesn't play well for me. I don't
Yeah,
care.
it's really weird. I know. It's annoying because it's like the same stuff over and over, kind of like you said. Edward tries to involve Alan in his scheme, but I think Alan's actually smart enough to be like, Mom's too smart for that. So
Alan's funny because he calls him and tells him he wants them to come over, and he's like, "Get here by 2:00 or whatever." And Alan's like, "I'm at the hospital at my job where I'm a doctor." Edward is like, "I don't care about that. Your mother needs you to come over here." He almost like cajoles him into coming by saying that there's something wrong with Lila. But then when he gets there, like Randall's like, "Oh, you're here," and he's like, "I was told I needed to be here by 2:00, so here I am." And then Edward's like, "You're going to take your mother to lunch," and he's like, "What the hell?"
Monica and Alan discuss the elevator kiss.
Perfect.
Audrey consoles Anne. David offers to get Laura a tiger, the little tiger trinket iron thingy,
Yeah, if
whatever
she
she's
sits
looking
down,
for.
shuts up, and stays in the house, and she's like, "What kind of tiger?" Because she's crazy.
I know, but she wants it, but I feel like she wants to steal it for herself. She don't care if he brings.
She
But
wants to steal it for the thrill of it.
You're right. She's placating him, basically.
Yeah, she doesn't care. She's gonna sneak out again.
Steve questions Anne. She tells him about Rudy's issues during Ruby's surgery. Rudy and Noah reported it as an accident.
Mm-hmm.
Lila turns it around on Edward, making him confused in the end about Charlotte.
Very funny. She comes in and immediately starts yes-anding Charlotte when Charlotte starts talking about how they used to hang out in South Beach and all this. She's hugging her. She's like, "Of course I remember you, dear. I love you, blah, blah, blah." And they start talking and she's like, "Let's go to lunch." And she puts Charlotte in the elevator and turns around to Randall and goes, "You think I wouldn't recognize a Broadway actress of her caliber?" And she says her name and she's like, "And I know that she moved here and I've even seen her in a play here." So basically she turns to Randall and she goes, "Nice try, Edward," and leaves.
Yeah,
And they go to lunch.
Edward,
Yeah.
Tell Edward to try harder next time.
Yeah, basically. And like, of course, all of this is very funny to Alan and me.
Yes. Steve questions Noah about Rudy. Laura too overhears David saying to keep her out of the plan. Even though I feel like Mel doesn't know the plan anyway, so
no one knows the plan.
No one knows.
What is the plan?
Do the writers know? Probably not.
I don't know. They have those. Doesn't he like he meets with other people and they have a part of the plan? Like everybody has a piece of the plan.
I don't even know. I didn't even write anything about them. Just that he met up with them, and I don't know what they talk about.
He met up with them.
They talk in circles.
He met up with them and he said, "Are you ready to execute your part of the plan?" And the one guy says, "I am almost ready to execute my part of the plan. And he's like, well, how much margin for error do I have? And David's like, none. And he's like, that's ridiculous. And David's like, deal with it. And he's like, okay, but is your guy ready with his part of the plan? Because if he messes up his part of the plan, our part of the plan is for nothing. And I'm like, what is the plan?
It's so annoying.
They're stealing something. They're stealing something.
Yeah,
I don't know what it is.
No, I have no idea. And why would Mel and Laura too be involved?
And what are the lenses? What does he need to replace? Because it sounds like they're going to steal something, and Mel's going to replace it. And what does he need the lens he's been working on for months for? Why does it matter?
Or something.
But why does it matter if Laura is hypnotized or not? If she knows the plan or not? What does all of this matter?
I don't know.
But it is at the one thing we do need to remember is that the woman that greets everyone when they come in and out is the front of an antiques shop, a consignment shop. That's important later, but that's literally it.
Yeah, right.
You don't need to know anything else. It was, I don't know.
No one does. Steve offers Rudy help. He's like, no, I'm good. He questions him about Ruby's
Makes him take a vacation.
Yeah. Steve take time off for rest. No,
he puts him on. It's basically administrative leave without having him officially say it's administrative leave. He's like, take a week off.
Noah and Anne make up, I guess, the best way they can. David talks to someone about the main event.
Yeah, there's two guys. It's two guys, and it's
that we don't know.
Yeah.
Johnny is hyped to get all the kinds of plans for the sports center, so he's getting all involved. Rick's
he wants to train. He wants to train the next Golden Gloves winner. I'm like, these are kids in a troubled neighborhood. Like, maybe we just teach them to box a little bit. Let them have fun.
Yeah, and Rick's like, we don't have the money to do everything that you want to do, so you need to stop.
Yeah, he's like, take it realistically. We're like a volunteer operation, and we have no money.
Scotty sees Heather. She just made a call being Sister Teresa Benedicta. She's trying to get information still on Mr. Angelino.
Dr. Katz.
Trying to drive him out of town, I guess. I don't understand why, though. Like, I feel like he doesn't do anything. Does he know too much?
I think she heard something or learned something that made her think he's not above board, because she has been checking dates and finding out where he's worked, why he was there, how he was there, what's going on. And this one is actually the first time she gets information that's contradictory to what's in his file, because they tell him the dates she says that he worked there are incorrect. And that's why she wants to come out and talk to the doctor.
Do you think she wants to blackmail him, though? Because
I have no idea. I feel like we missed an important episode where this happened, because, it's not all there. It's from a million years ago.
Yeah.
But, I feel like she's trying to prove that he's not on the up and up, but I don't know if she's doing that to get out of therapy by, like you said, blackmailing him into saying she's fine. Because she still wants her kid back, so maybe it's part of that.
I think it's a blackmail thing because it's Heather. If it were anybody else, I would probably question, like, they might be wanting to report him to the cops. But
I'm not saying that Heather uses blackmail every other week for the next 30 years, but I am saying that's what happens.
But she does. So yeah, she finds out that he left his last job, like, suddenly. He resigned, but we don't know what's going on exactly with
and as she's doing that, Scotty is like lurking, and she's like, can I just finish my phone call? And he's just like, what are you doing, Heather? What are you doing? And then, like, Martha offers him coffee, which was funny.
Yeah, and I think Scotty's going somewhere, like, that she has to get to, so he's like, can you drop me here and then pick me up from here? I guess she has to do her investigative
she wants to go someplace that's like an hour or two out, and she's like, do you want company on your ride? Because he's going up there for some kind of law situation. So he's going to drop her off and then pick her up when he's done whatever it is he's doing. So he drops her off. Yeah.
Baltavia or something. I'm like, is that real?
Let us know in the comments. Is where they're going real?
Have you been to Batavia?
What is Batavia? I mean, I'm assuming he was just heading north, so maybe Canada. Like, maybe he was just rolling up into Canada.
I was thinking that too. Jackie is frustrated about Laura and D. Gray because they only know him as D. Gray at this point, right? They
And
don't
the
know his
boys
name is
are
David.
making fun of her for her perfect plan.
And she'll never forget his eyes because he has
Oh,
those
God.
hypnotizing eyes.
Hypnotizing. I do not care.
Um, Robert and Jackie go to Ramsey to find out more about D. Gray, if he knows anything anyway.
That was
Um,
funny. I love Burt Ramsey because Burt Ramsey is like, oh, he's got hypnotizing eyes. That's not going to do shit for me. So what do you got?
yeah, he's funny.
And they're like, let's get a sketch artist in.
Mm-hmm. Luke helps Ruby get around. A friend Donna visits from Florida. I'm like,
She's a
do we know
hooker.
this woman?
She's a
Oh,
hooker.
she's a
Yes,
former
she's been
hooker.
on before.
Oh, has she?
Mm-hmm.
Have I seen her?
No, it was before we started
Oh,
watching.
in the
But yeah, she's
70s.
a hooker from Florida. She's doing really well. She has a sugar daddy taking care of her at the moment. So she flew
Get
up to
it?
see Ruby, and she makes a lot of cute little jokes about that sort of thing. It's charming.
So Joe tells Rick that they need liability insurance
Mhm.
for the sports center, which
You
costs a
can't have
lot of
kids
money
boxing and doing exercise without having insurance to make sure nobody gets killed. And if they do
and
get
a lot of
killed, there's a payout.
insurance companies don't want to cover something like that because they
No,
know
because it's
it's
a
going to be a
huge
disaster.
liability. Yeah.
Mr. Angelino acted unethically, we find out that this Dr. Lauder says, but we don't know exactly
Oh,
what.
Dr. Katz? Is that Dr. Katz? You and your weird
Yeah.
names for everybody.
It's not a weird name. He's Mr. Angelino. Like, I don't understand.
His name is Dr.
Um,
Katz. We were on General Hospital.
it's not at all.
No.
Um, and this Cynthia woman dropped the charges, so, but we don't know exactly what
She was
happened.
accused of unethical behavior
I'm
towards a female
guessing,
client, but we don't know what. It is heavily implied it's of a sexual nature, but it's not sure what actually happened, and she did
but
drop the
she dropped the
charges and
charges, so
disappeared.
maybe he paid her off,
Or maybe it wasn't
and
true.
then disappeared.
We
Yeah, who
don't
knows?
know. We don't know enough about it.
And we might not
Maybe
find
he's a
out
dirty dog. We might not know. We'll
if we
find
don't
out.
have that episode. Amy asks, what's her name? Maureen, about her
Maureen.
brother.
You can just say Johnny's sister if you want.
I would like to know their names,
That's how the
but
show treats her. It's just like, here's a woman who came on and could have had her own storyline, but she's relegated to Johnny's sister,
and she'll
the
probably
nurse.
leave town in the next batch of episodes.
I know, really.
Luke sees Johnny. He's happy to see him. They go back, way back, whatever.
So funny because Luke is like, oh my God, aren't you the kid I used to bully? And Johnny's like, yeah, you used to bully me. And they
Look at
both
me
seem to
now.
think this is funny. And it's like, you used to bully that kid and now he's a boxer. So maybe you back off a little bit and apologize.
Bullies used to get along with their
No,
people
he
they
probably
tormented.
just messed with him. Like, because if he really bullied him, Johnny
Yeah.
wouldn't be happy to see him.
Right.
And they were friendly with Ruby as well. So it's not like they don't know the whole family.
So Luke offers his boat for a benefit at the sports event center. So he's like, well, it'll help me get my boat into shape because I've been wanting to do it, but I've been running around town looking for Laura for the past however long.
This haunted boat that his wife hates.
Yeah. Jackie IDs D. Gray, and they are freaked out by his eyes. Again.
I don't know. Look, he's a handsome guy. His eyes look fine. They look like a normal person's eyes. They only look weird when they put that like bar light on him, and then they play the weird music around him.
Yeah.
Otherwise, he just looks like some attractive fellow.
So Ruby's doing better.
Yep.
Jackie goes to Luke and Robert with more papers. She loves newspapers, she says.
Yeah, and they give her crap about it. They are teasing her through this entire time. It's very funny.
David Gray is on with an old lady. Her name is Miss Frumpkin.
That's a terrible name for a woman.
Miss Frumpkin. That's like the worst name you could probably ever give a character.
I bet she's going by an alias because she's a WSB spy.
Right, she's the.
I'm going to give her a backstory because I kind of like her.
Antique store front girl, whatever.
Yeah, it's like a consignment shop, and he tells her she can do whatever she wants at the front of the store.
And this lady was in a Charlie's Angels episode along with many other things. Yeah, I've seen her in many things.
Cool.
She was the old lady in everything.
Well, she does a good
So
job. She's very entertaining, even though they gave her the worst name ever.
Miss Frumpkin, I'm like, did I really hear that right? I think I
I do.
rewounded it.
You're like, she's only going to be on for 3 days. Do we have to work hard at naming her? Let's not give her a first name. We'll call her Mrs. Frumpkin, and we'll put her in the frumpiest clothes we can find. And then the audience will think that is hilarious.
They'll love it.
They'll love it.
So Jackie wants to advertise for the little ivory animals to
Mm-hmm.
set Laura up to catch her, I guess. Laura too is bored and getting on Mel's nerves.
Yep.
But I feel like Mel's bored too because they're trapped at like it's. Why can't they just live life and do their thing? I don't know. I'm so confused.
I
Why
don't
they're it's so
understand
weird.
why they have. I don't understand any of this. She could have gone home, called her sister, been like, I'm at home, everything's fine. And then they could have gone to lunch. She could have said everything was fine, like assuaged her like weirdness, and then gone right back to Mel. And then Jackie and Robert and Luke wouldn't be on her trail anymore.
Do you think that they're trying to? Well, do you think David Gray wants to have Laura steal whatever they're trying to steal, since
I
they know
don't.
that she's a klepto?
I don't know if they have any plans for her at all. I think what Mel was worried about is that if she had too much information, David would kill her. It doesn't like this is the thing that's driving me crazy. None of this really relates to Laura Spencer in any way, or Laura, the girl that was hit by the car. So
Right.
we did all of that groundwork with the three Lauras and that whole scenario, and then we've kind of shunted it into this weird
To get this.
thing that doesn't make any sense. I do want to say that I feel like Laura Templeton is much more interesting here than she is later on when she's just kind of in the background doing
Yeah,
nothing.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
again, it's like we brought on this new character, they come in hot and then they just fade away.
Right.
She's not bad. Like she's not bad. She just has nothing to do. And it's like the whole storyline is about her having nothing to do and then stealing
Yeah, and I'm
little
like,
animals. Who
that's
cares?
what I mean. That's why I thought she was going to be involved because, like, I'm like, why else would she be there? So if she's not involved in his scheme, like, I feel like I don't know.
Do you think maybe she's been hypnotized to do something on a trigger word because this seems to be a huge part of the scenario?
I think so. I think she's there more than like why we think she is.
She
You know what I
has to
mean?
be, or all of this is
Right.
stupid and pointless. And it
Yeah.
really, all it has been is exactly what Luke says it is, a distraction from him looking for his actual wife instead of Jackie's dumb sister, because literally that woman could have went home, called her sister and said she was fine, stayed there for 2 days and then went back to Mel.
Right.
But when they came to town, it was like they were terrified he was going to kill both of them, but then Mel is part of his plan. None of this makes sense. It feels like it was thrown together more than it was written.
But
You know
yeah,
what I
it
mean?
does seem like it very much so. Rick wants Johnny to get a doctor for more tests. Miss Frumpkin scares D. Gray when those two dudes come by to talk about their evil plan of doing nothing.
We're going to do the plan. What is the plan? I don't know.
And Tiffany's
Eugenia?
finally involved again, thank goodness.
Yes.
She comes up with an idea to help Jackie and Robert and Luke.
They're
Um,
foolish because she is so smart and they always act like she's dumb. And she was the one who said, if we need like these little ivory creatures, why don't we go to the fence we know?
Yeah.
And they're like,
Benny.
but we don't, yeah, Benny, but he's a fence. And she's like, why don't we go to him and get the animals we need and then use them? And they're like, but we don't have any money. And she's like, couldn't we just talk to him and borrow it? And they're like, but we don't have any money. Can't you sell more of your jewelry to get us money? And she should just be like, you're all losers. And she should stop talking to them.
But she's a good friend and she doesn't.
She really is a good friend because Robert treats her like crap. And
Oh,
I
I
don't
know,
appreciate it.
I don't either. It's annoying. Luke goes to the antique store. He
In
did
one of his
hair.
famous disguises. And I really enjoyed this because it's corny and it's hilarious.
It is. It's the same store that D. Gray is at, but he doesn't see him though, I don't think.
No, because he's in the back and she's
But he
running.
knows
the
he's
store.
there because he asks about him later.
I don't think he knows he's there.
Yeah, because he asked Mrs. Frumpkin about it. He said, did you know more about that guy that came by earlier? And she they talked about it, but so we knew he was there, but he didn't know. I don't think he knew it
I
was
don't think
Luke.
he owns the place. But he does
Yeah,
a
I don't
whole
know.
little song and dance about him being a guy who does consignment stuff and he sells things and he gets her to take the ivory animals on consignment. And then he's like, "Oh, I'll come back for them, but I'm going to Germany or something and I'll be gone for a while." And she's just like, "Really? Don't you want a receipt or anything?" And he's like, "I don't care."
And Luke gives the little things to Mrs. Frumpkin
For her
at
to
this
sell.
point.
Yep.
Yeah, they're fake though, right? They're not the real
No,
ivory
they're real. They're
ones.
from Benny.
Oh,
They
they
get them
are
from
real.
Benny. They're real.
Okay. Um, Rudy discharges Ruby.
Yep.
Um,
Early.
Gail questions him. She's like, "Is it a little too soon? Like, she just had something major happen
Gail's
like today."
right, but at the same time, what Dr. Bradshaw says is like if you're being discharged into care of Bobby, who is a registered nurse,
Right.
you're going to get better care at home than you're going to get in the hospital because you're going to have one nurse that's doting on you instead of like whoever can come by when they come by. I still don't think it was the smartest move, but like Luke is going to take her to New York to Bobby, and they're all going to stay for a couple days.
Yep. And that's how it ends.
Yep.
And then we get Richard Simmons' workout in the beginning of the last episode.
It's always fun to see Richard Simmons.
Leslie, Rick, Jesse, Monica, and Alan are all working out.
Yep.
So who's working?
No, they have more doctors in the hospital than our main cast.
No, they don't. It's the only ones we see. We don't care about the other ones. And Rudy. Rudy's the only one working because that's why he's so tired. He should have been at the class.
He wants money. He has overscheduled himself.
Yeah, and it doesn't look like he has a great relationship with his wife either. From what
Yeah,
Amy
because
says.
Amy makes a blunder because she thinks they've been married for a long time, but apparently this is a second wife.
Yeah.
So they haven't been married that long. And
He's
it's not
like,
going
mind
well
your
because
business.
she refuses to move down from New York City.
Yeah. Um. So Edward continues his plot to get ELQ from Lila. Jackie, Robert, and Tiffany continue their plot to get Laura out of wherever Mel's place. Leslie and Rick discuss Johnny's heart. She said she recommends Monica for a consultation. They're confused about Johnny's heart results because he seems healthy. His EKG was fine.
He was doing a lot of working out and running and everything at the sports center, which made Maureen upset. So they took him in for testing because obviously everyone's like Rick's a cardiologist, Monica's a cardiologist, the hospital's just loaded with cardiologists. So they do the test, and it's funny because they keep showing each other the EKG readings, and they're like, "But they're fine. They're fine."
So I was thinking that maybe Maureen rigged it in the other place so he would stop fighting. That's the only thing I was thinking.
That's an idea. I also think maybe there was some kind of thanks, Monty. There was some mob interference where they wanted him to lose a fight or not fight, and so they kind of arranged for this because, people rig fights all the time, especially back then because it was easier to do. They would just rig the fights so they could get all the money.
And Robert is kind of a dick to Tiffany.
Well, he's terrible to her. Just tell her you don't like her. Like, why do you have to be I don't want to be in a relationship with you, but I do want to be friends, and let Tiffany move on with her life.
Exactly.
It's terrible. He leads her on all the time.
He does. It's stupid. Lila comes over, and Robert has news on who Lila is looking for, who is Jimmy Holt?
Jimmy Lee.
But they don't say his name, right?
They don't know it yet.
Yeah, okay. And she doesn't know. He has pictures, but she doesn't know what he looks like. So she's like, not really.
No, but see, here's the thing. He had a different name. According to the paperwork and stuff, you'll find out later that he is Jimmy Lee Holt. But in the paperwork, his name is Michael, I think, or something like that.
Rick breaks the news to Johnny that he can fight. So if he wants to, and then
you're fine, buddy. Go for it. Well, they actually call his original cardiologist in New York to consult with him, and they're all like, "But everything's fine." And that guy's like, I got to tell you, he had signs of heart damage when I saw him. And they're like, but all the tests show he doesn't. So do you think there was some kind of interference? That guy says, I don't know, but you guys seem to be good cardiologists, so go for it. And I'm like, go for it. Run the tests again. Like, what are you doing?
Susan and Alice are on with Jason crying. She's still trying to hold on to Alan, and I guess she wants to have a romantic meal. What
Because
was the
he's bored
surprise
with
that
her.
she had? What was the surprise she had for him? Just like a negligee?
No, she had a whole dinner prepared, and it was mostly seafood, and almost all of the courses were oysters because she's trying to get him to bang her because he hasn't been able to get it up. And that's why the elevator scene is so funny, is because
Right.
he's bored with Susan, but Monica still gets his engine revving. So he kissed Monica and like felt something, and then he can't seem to make that happen with Susan because she's boring to him.
Amy gives a message to Rudy, and he gets mad at her for butting in.
She wasn't really being that bad. These people act like Amy walks up to people and starts airing their dirty laundry when they air all their dirty laundry anyway.
She kind of was, because that's when she brought up the wife and stuff, and she's like, oh, whatever, and she talks about her gossiping.
So what?
But,
everyone on that show gossips. They just blame Amy for everything.
Rudy? The look on his face, and he just looks a mess. Like, I would not mess with that
Would
man.
I mess with Dr. Bradshaw? Yes, because I'm on Anne's side. So I would be messing with that man 24/7.
I don't know. I wouldn't have. Dan makes a remark about Amy being the hospital newsletter.
Yes.
Edward and Lila meet he has like papers for her to sign.
Can I talk about that? Because it's so funny.
It is funny. It's great.
Edward met with one of his shisty lawyers. This guy's like a real shady guy. And he meets with the lawyer and he goes, what can I do to get control of the company? And he goes, well, I made you a power of attorney and all you need to do is get her to sign it. So Edward takes papers for a merger that he wanted to do with the company, and he packs them all with the power of attorney that he needs. So he sent the papers ahead to her lawyer so that the setup would be complete. He goes and finds her, and she's trying on dresses, and she comes out and she's like, Edward, what do you think of my dress? And he's like, it's a dress. It's fine. I don't know. It's lovely. I don't care. He's like, I have papers for you to sign. And she's like, okay, but I don't sign anything unless my lawyer looks at it. And he's like, well, call your lawyer. So she calls her lawyer, and he had pre-sent the files, and the lawyer says it's okay for her to sign the papers. So she takes Edward's pen, and she makes a crack about loving to call the lawyer because probably she thinks the lawyer's hot. She's adorable. She sits down and she starts going.
I like catching up with.
She's like, I love this pen. This is my crochet hook, but they have a gold pen. And they're like, I love this pen. It's such a cute pen. Can I keep the pen when we're done? Like, she's being very distracting. And he's like, I don't care. It's a pen. Sign the papers. And she goes, oh, Edward, whatever. I'm going to sign the papers. Let me just look at them. And she signs all the papers.
I thought it was going to be like an invisible ink pen or something because she kept complimenting on the pen.
She keeps the pen at the end. She's like, thank you so much for the pen. And she turns to the girl in the shop and she goes, back to shopping. But the funniest thing is, like, when he finds her there shopping, he goes, I can't believe you're shopping here in the middle of the day. And Lila goes, well, the shops are closed at night, Edward. When else would I come shopping? But he thinks he's won. So he takes this pack of papers back to his lawyer.
And he's very happy and laughing.
He's so excited.
Now I got one over on her and all this. And
she signed the power of attorney, Mrs. Abraham Lincoln. So this is the second time in a row that he's tried one of his shady little plans. And she has been smarter than him. And I'm living for this because it's adorable. Because he's constantly like, I'm so smart and this woman shouldn't be running my company. And when he talks to Alan, he talks about her like she's addled. And she's the smartest person and she keeps like sneaking around him and it makes me so happy.
I know, it's really
I love
funny.
them.
It was really cute.
Yeah, she is adorable.
She is. So where's that?
I know, I threw off your rhythm because I wanted to talk about how cute Lila is.
Susan calls the hospital. Monica answers the phone.
Because she asked for Dr. Quatermain and she wasn't specific.
Right. But she should know better. It's tough.
She's not bright. Sorry,
She's not.
Susan's not bright. That's why Alan can't get it up for her.
Alan says he'll be home early, whatever. So I think they go. They have their dinner or whatever. They have sexy time. I
They
guess he
have
can get it up now.
oysters as an appetizer, and then some kind of fish, and then oysters, and then more oysters. And he's like, "You've made an entire dinner of my favorite foods, just oysters." And then, like, they decide to skip dinner in favor of having sex. But you can see when he's like kind of trying to hook up with her that he is literally not interested.
Yeah.
So it's very funny. Monica told him this would happen, and Edward told him this would happen. They were like, the affair is exciting and new, and then you're over
It'll
it.
fizzle out.
And then Edward, that's why Edward told him to get a mistress for his mistress.
Yeah. And Tiffany brings up Jackie wanting Robert. And
Yes.
Robert's like, he's a dick again. So I'm like, whatever, dude. I don't know why she's even putting up with this shit.
She does a lot with these men. These men are always like, oh, we see this again in the future with Noah. Like, they just treat her horribly.
Yeah.
And it stinks. I don't like it.
No. So yeah, these were fun episodes. Oh god.
Where are you going?
Dropped you. Yeah. I liked everything except the D Gray stuff. I'm over it. So I need something to move there or something.
I love the Quartermain stuff. I think it was a great week for Lila and Edward. Monica getting one over on Susan always makes me crack up. I love that. Like you said, I don't care. There was like a weird moment between Luke and Jackie where she looked like she was going to kiss him outside of Kelly's, and he escaped her because she was trying to thank him for saving her life. And I think he could feel the shift in the energies. And he's like, well, I'm going to go. And he gets up and he leaves, and she follows him out and tries to talk to him again about how he saved her life. And then she looks like she's going to kiss him. And he basically ducks around her and runs away. Because it's like weird. She knows he's married. Like, I didn't understand the energy in that scene, but he did, and he ran away. And I love that.
I like that Tiffany got more involved too, because they were just kind of not doing anything with her.
Yeah, and she was useful. She was the one that provided the solution and the new plan. And like Luke was very proud of her because he loves her. They're that's a platonic friendship that never goes anywhere other than being platonic friendship. Right. And I love that.
It is good. Because even when later in 83, where we're at, remember they had a nice scene together too recently when we watched our other soap night.
Because he was upset. He's like, you can't really trust anyone. And Tiffany's like, you can trust me. And he's like, I know I can, baby. And they're really cute together because it never crosses that line.
Yeah. It's nice.
I really enjoy their interactions. I did not enjoy Robert because he is like kind of fawning over Jackie right now in front of her. And it's like, make your decision. Either you're with Tiffany or you're not. But don't stand around acting like there's not a problem between you and Tiffany and making her guess every time she's in a conversation with you. It's rude.
Yeah. I just need some more movement in that storyline.
I need it to end. I needed to hit the end of whatever this arc is, because what do we decide at the end of this? Do we decide that Laura Spencer is dead? What are we deciding? Did she drown? Is that what we land on? Because he literally said what happened. He was like, do you think the Cassadines would have kidnapped her? Why didn't we follow that angle instead of this one?
Right.
Like, that makes more sense that, like, Helena would have done something to Laura because she has that weird fascination with Luke and she hates Laura. So, like, why did we go in this direction is what I want to know. What was the point of this?
Right. I hope it gets more interesting, at least, if we have to suffer through it more.
Maybe it will. Sometimes storylines start out really slowly and then they become something awesome.
It's true.
But I just really don't understand why we pivoted to the storyline. And if they were literally using Laura Templeton to replace Laura Spencer, how they ever thought that was going to work. Because it doesn't work at all.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think... Is that what the plan was? Because
I don't know. I know that's the fan reaction to it based on like what older fans have said. They all just started calling her fake Laura and they didn't like her.
Right.
And she does kind of come in and she works for the Quartermains at some point, and she's just kind of around in the background, and they never really do anything with her. But if they were
Right.
attempting to put her with Luke, or if they were going to put Jackie with Luke, because it seems like they're testing the chemistry between Jackie and Luke, and then Luke ran away, which I loved. I don't know. They didn't have the chemistry. Obviously, Robert and Jackie had more chemistry.
And Blackie's around now, right? Where we're at, and he hasn't been on.
He was
Remember
introduced. He was introduced, and we haven't
Yeah.
seen him since. Because he's
Yeah,
like a
that's kind of
street tough.
weird.
Like he's a street tough. He's gonna mess up the center. They introduced him, and then he was gone.
Yeah, that's kind of weird.
So I'm sure we'll get back to him. I don't like the sports centered storyline. For me, a sports center is just like every story in the 80s had a community center just like this with all the same stuff. So I guess it was something that was going on in real life.
Yeah.
We do still have community centers today. It's not like something that disappeared, but it just seemed like a popular storyline. Also, the fitness storyline, which is just kind of there, but not really there.
Yeah.
We see Richard Simmons. He sometimes makes fun of the characters on the show for not eating correctly. I think this week he made fun of Gail.
Leslie patted his butt.
Of course she did.
That was funny though.
Of course she did. She's so funny.
That was funny.
Oh, I love her. Her comedic timing is incredible. I love her.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know where these things are going. As it stands, I don't care about Johnny. He seems fine, but I don't know enough about him to care.
Yeah, I mean, he just got there.
It's nice to have Ruby have one of her hooker friends show up and support her. It's nice when your old coworkers come by and try and cheer you up. That scene where Dan snuck cranberry juice and wine and like cranberry juice in there and pretended it was wine, that was adorable.
Yeah.
I did like how he interacted with Anne. I think Anne, like, I also loved Steve in this because Audrey was like, if you have concerns, you need to take them to Steve. And Anne was like, well, what if Steve doesn't listen to me? And Audrey's like, Steve listens to everybody, but don't be surprised if he makes his own decision about it, but he will listen to you. And when she went to Steve, that's exactly what Steve did. He sat down and he said, I don't understand why you're having these concerns, but talk to me about it. And I'm like, you're actually a good boss. Like, he's like listening to his employee. And then he was like, I'm going to do my own investigation. So don't worry about this anymore. Go back to work. And he did. And it led to Dr. Bradshaw being put like on vacation. He was like, you're a wreck and you need to go home and you need to take care of yourself. And Dr. Bradshaw's like, no, I don't. And he's like, I'm in charge. Go home.
Yeah. So I'm guessing Bradshaw and Anne are on their way out too, because I just don't remember Anne being where we started watching in July of that year. So I'm sure she's on her way out. It seems like
I think she's going to eventually want to leave this hospital just
and Jeremy,
because.
I guess.
Well, Jeremy. Yeah, Jeremy just disappears with her. So I think what happens is she just gets sick of working at this hospital where people have like a bad taste in their mouth about her, which is kind of half earned, half unfair. Like, it's earned in the personal life when she went crazy and was drinking and going nuts. But like the professional area of it, it's like she's just trying to be a nurse, but she's a little overzealous about how she goes about this investigation. So I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either.
But we'll see. It was a good week, though. It was a good week.
Mm-hmm. It was good.
If you love Lila, it was a beautiful week. And I do.
All right. Well, let us know. Did you watch this stuff in 1982? I know there's some people that comment that tell us what they've watched and who they like. I know the one lady didn't really like Laura and Jackie when they came on the scene, and
I can see it. Jackie's very abrasive, and Laura's like all over the place in her portrayal. I don't blame the actress for that. I blame the writing.
The writing for sure.
But like Jackie's kind of like, she came on hot and aggressive, and her interactions with Luke sometimes don't make any sense. Like, it just seems like she vacillates between like being extremely upset and angry with him to like cajoling and trying to like convince him to do things. And it's just like, she didn't need either one of these guys to do the plans she was doing.
Right.
It feels like she was kind of shoehorned into their twosome, and we could have just put Tiffany there, so I could see what.
Exactly. I was going to say, if anything, Tiffany's the one that helped the most, I feel like, and the guys have been with her since day one, so it's kind of.
And no offense to Jackie Templeton, Demi Moore, I would prefer to watch Tiffany interact. But I
Right.
don't like when they put Tiffany in this box where she's jealous and mean. I don't like that. Seems like I mean, it's an honest, genuine character flaw, but I don't like it. I prefer Tiffany when she's very fancy and calling everyone darling.
Yeah. And on that note, and then this note, uh,
Our mascot.
um, yeah, our mascot. Um, Let us know what you thought. And join our Patreon for more exclusive soap watches. We watch a lot of stuff over there. And we'll see you next time, everyone. Bye.